So what are we doing today? Top 10 anime movies. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with Life with Leroy. So last week I promised everybody that I was going to be doing a top 10 anime movies. So this is my selection of my top 10 favorite anime movies of all time. Problem is, top 10 is going to be a really long video. So instead I'm going to break it down to the bare essentials and I'm going to give you my top 5. Top 5 anime movies of all time. Let's go! Okay, so wizards are real. The two biggest countries in the world are at war. And you've been cursed by a mean old witch into the body of an 80-year-old woman. What do? Obviously, you go on a quest, right? So the number 5 pick is exactly that, Howl's Moving Castle by Studio Ghibli. In this light-hearted adventure, Granny, as you'll soon to know her, gets done in by a curse from an evil old witch. She sets out on an adventure to try to find a way to break her curse. In doing that, she comes across a scarecrow, helps him out, and they both seek shelter in the world's strongest wizard's home. It is Howl's Moving Castle. So avoiding all stranger danger, she moves in and becomes the resident cleaner of Howl's Moving Castle. There she befriends the child wizard, the demon that lives in it and powers the castle, and the greatest wizard of all time himself, the man who swallowed the star. As with every Studio Ghibli movie, this one is an absolute masterpiece. The world design, the character design, and the creature design are absolutely amazing, super imaginative, and well thought out. The storyline is progressive, the exposition is amazing, and the plot twist with the movie, as with most movies, and especially in animes, it is absolutely amazing, startling, and you had no idea it was there. It is enthralling, an absolute masterpiece, and again, Studio Ghibli, I might have to do a top 10 Studio Ghibli movies of all time. I've done my best to not include Studio Ghibli in this list. It's nearly impossible. They have some of the best animes out there. So, number 4 on the list is Sword of the Stranger by Xoxo. Okay, so Kotaro, Tobemaru, and Nanashi walk into an abandoned temple, right? Okay, so in this movie, Kotaro is very special, Nanashi is a badass, and Tobemaru dies. After they are attacked in the temple by the fallen military might, Nanashi is hired by Kotaro to be his bodyguard and deliver him to the temple where he needs to go to keep him safe. After Nanashi lays the smackdown to several of these elite guardsmen, there is a special guy who comes out to try to kick his ass. Now, Liao Lang is one of the fallen military guys. He looks like Brad Pitt with a mullet. So after Nanashi lays a whipping to lots of these little fallen military guys, and especially their elite guardsmen, they call in their resident badass, Liao Lang. Now, Liao Lang is just in for a decent scrap. That's all he wants, is somebody to challenge him as a good swordsman to make his dreams come true. He just wants to cuddle in the moonlight. No, he wants a decent fight. Now, later on in the movie, you find out why Kotaro is so special, but I can't tell you any more of this without bringing the story for you. So if you're interested, I suggest checking it out. As far as action anime, this one is second to none. So in this movie, the sword motion capture, the fight scenes, and the martial arts that are used in this are so realistic and so adaptive. The smoke, the snow, the environment, everything has been taken care of, and they've put thought and practice into everything that happens on this movie. The exposition for the characters and their development throughout the movie is absolutely amazing. This is a definite must-watch. That's why it's on my top 5. Yeah. So number 3 is The Girl Who Let Through Time by Karakawa.
You're probably thinking that this can't be happening, but I'm going to die.
So for all extensive purposes, Makoto is just an ordinary Japanese high school girl. So one day she's creeping around a classroom, following somebody who's creeping around a classroom, trips and falls on a walnut. So skipping forward a little bit, she is nearly killed in a train accident. Here she discovers she has the ability to alter time by leaping. She is the girl who can leap through time. That's how they work out their anime titles. Once she discovers how to use this power, she does have a lot of fun with it. She gets lots of sleep, she gets a lot of time with her friends, and she gets great grades. Every time something goes wrong in her life, she just takes a jump out of a window. Doing this, she managed to learn a lot about her friends, her life, and her family, but one friend in particular becomes a key component to this entire story. So I can't tell you anything more about this movie without spoiling a lot of it. Now, this one is a must-watch, obviously. gotta stop saying that. They're all must-watches. It's top 5. So this is a light-hearted adventure, comedy, slice-of-life sort of style anime. It has a little bit of a sci-fi element to it later on, and you'll get that if you watch it. So the art style in this movie is fantastic. The character designs, character exposition is beautifully done. The storyline is fantastic. The main plot twist you really do not expect to happen. Now, one of my favourite scenes in this movie, absolutely nothing happens, and it is fantastic in the way that it is set up. It's hot, you can see and feel the heat, you can hear the heat, and if you've ever had one of those really hot days when the cicadas are out in full force, you understand exactly what the scene is doing. Alright, get your tissues. Now, number 2 on this list is a little bit different from the other ones that I've chosen. It is based from an autobiography and adapted into an anime movie in the 1980s. So number 2 on this list is Grave of the Fireflies by Studio Ghibli. Now, this is an absolute heartwarming, heart-wrenching, heart-pounding, heart-beat the shit out of anime movie. It is flawlessly done. It is about a boy and his young sister who have been separated from their parents during World War II based in Japan. Now, there are a couple other movie titles like this, and I very much recommend them. I'm going to pop them over here so you can see which ones I'm talking about. Hopefully that worked. I don't actually know if I can do that, but I'm going to have to do it now. So, as I mentioned, this movie is set in Japan during World War II. Seita is trying his best to look after his little sister Setsuko, but he's trying their best to survive with no parents and no relatives. The horrors and atrocities that these two go through is absolutely mind-bending. I very much recommend watching this movie. If you do watch this movie, make sure you got chocolate and tissues. That's the only recommendation I can give to you. Now, this one is on Netflix as well, so I recommend that as soon as you're finished watching this video, you go and check that one out. So you just woke up a girl. What do you do? Yeah, pretty much. So my number 1 all-time favourite anime is Your Name from Toho Animation. Now, Your Name, or Kimi no Wa as it's known in Japan, it is the most beautifully done movie I've ever seen in my entire life. So Mitsuha is a young girl from a rural Japanese town, and Taki is a young boy growing up in Tokyo City. Unbeknownst to these two, they are bound by the strings of fate. In their sleep, they swap bodies. So at first they think it's just a weird dream, they think nothing of it, they have a little fun. Later on they discover that these dream swaps are actually happening. So in order to make each other's lives easier, they use each other's diaries to let each other know what is happening, what has happened during that day, and what is going on. They try to figure out how this whole thing is happening. So one day Mitsuha decides she's going to visit Taki in Tokyo. She boards a train and she buggers off. We don't know what happened in the next scene because she's just back at home during a meteor shower. That is where I have to leave you guys because I can't tell you any more about this without exposing a lot of the story plot. Now, saying that the art style and the artwork in this animation would be an absolute understatement. The animation in this movie is flawless. I mean flawless in the fact that a lot of other people have gone to these sites, that is these scenes that are in this movie, and have compared the animation to real life, and there is absolutely no comparison. It is almost as if they just used an extra sketch filter on Snapchat or something. It is absolutely flawless. Also in this anime, the character development and the exposition is absolutely stunning. The friendships, the bonds, the camaraderie that is caused, and the end plot twist is one of the most dramatic I have ever seen. One of the songs that come from this movie I actually listen to quite often. So this movie is funny, thought-provoking, heartwarming, heartbreaking. It is everything you want. It is an absolute masterpiece. This one is also on Netflix, so if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go and watch it. Watch this one, then watch Grave of the Fireflies. Now, there's a lot of anime movies that are on Netflix right now that didn't quite make the top 5. They'll definitely either be in the top 10 or very, very close to it. I'm going to leave a little bit of a list in the background here so you guys can have a squiz at your convenience. So hit me up in the comments, what's your top 5 favourite anime movies? If you haven't seen any, just chuck down the ones that you'd like to see. Alright guys, thanks again for watching, thank you for joining me, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I drop a new video. If you have any suggestions or you just want to tell me your top 5, leave it in the comments. I will probably agree. I love anime. But that's all for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. I love you. I'm gonna leave you, but I'm gonna see you next time. Stay cool, stay safe.